Hello everyone. So in this video again we are going to continue with whatever we were discussing in the earlier video, that is module pool programming or dialog programming or screen programming. So in the last video we created a test program. Now you are aware that what is the nomenclature of module pool program, how we decide on the screen numbers, what all includes will be there, and then we need to create a T code to execute the module pool program. So we created a T code as well, and then you need to run that T code. You will get this kind of screen. Now we are going to make some changes in this, and then we are going to make it more complex. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to create two different screens. On the first screen there will be a sales order number, and then second screen we are going to create a table control in which we will be displaying all the line items of the table of the sales order number. So basically table control creation is the main agenda for this video, and then we are going to see how to achieve it. So before you actually do that, go to SE38. This is a big pain. SE38 environment examples control examples. Then if you scroll down, you'll see table control. Double click here. So the moment you double click, it will display a table control in front of you. So you can see we have a table control here. This is something we call a table control, very similar to your ALV report, but then all the columns might be editable or not editable depending on your requirement. You can scroll it towards right or then top to bottom. You can double click here, and you can also change the screen layout basically, and then you can select a row, you can delete or add, up to you. So if I go to system status and the screen number, so I can see the code related to table control. So what you need to understand here is that whenever we create a table control, you will see this kind of loop with control tc underscore calls, or loop at internal table with control this. Similarly a loop here. So basically in this screen actually they are displaying two different table controls, and that's the reason you can see two loops there. So this is one, and this is one, this is the other one. So since we are going to create only one table control on our screen, so we are going to have only one loop. Now here also we have the concept of PBO and PI, which is going to be universal in all the screen programming. You can see this set PF status, which we did for our screen last time. So similarly, when we are creating a new screen, we need to do that there as well. So if you want to sort the contents of that, this is the code. If you hit on back, or if you hit on delete, if you hit on insert, so we are going to replicate these things in our table control. So to achieve this, so let's quickly try to achieve this, as I am short of time, so let's try to do it as quickly as possible. Select this, delete. Now I go back, activate this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to my top include, sorry, and then I'm going to create a tag. now, ty underscore vbak, or let's do vbap. So let's open the table so that we can copy this from there. Okay, so it's Veblen VA, Posner VA, Madner. So let's do one thing. Let's copy first 6-7 fields. So this is how I create a type, or how I used to create a type when I was a programmer. I would say still I'm a programmer. So why I am going to create a table control on the second screen? Because the way we created our first screen, same way we can create our second screen and we can populate 2-3 fields there. But then if you get this concept of table control, you can easily create any kind of screen. It's very simple, trust me, it's very simple. There is nothing special, nothing official. The other thing which I would like to tell you that in module, during your SAP projects, it will be very rare that you come across the module pool development requirements. Most of the time, people who are working in the product development environment, they will be working on module pool because they will be dealing with different screens. But then at the same time, it's not ruled out that you will never get a chance to work on it. So I have been very lucky. I got a lot of requirements, lot of big projects, lot of mini projects, and all related to module pool. So that is, so anyway, so now we'll create an internal table. Most of the people who will be taking your interview and asking the questions on module pool, they themselves would have never worked on module pool. I can bet on that. Okay, so I'm going to my layout again, and if you remember last time when I did an F6 here, I just provided the table name and I used get from dictionary. This time what I'm going to do, this is the other approach, WA underscore VBAP, and then get from program. So this way what happens, you can import the contents from your program, that is the type structure. So work area is going to help you. So select the field which you want to show as an input to the first screen, and then you can see you can drag and drop it, but then obviously because it's not getting called from the table, so you are going to face the problem. So we'll try one more thing here. We'll refer it to the table and field. Go to your screen again. So that doesn't make any difference. So anyways, so I think we'll not go ahead with this approach. Instead we'll go with VBAK, get from dictionary, select VBELN here, This way you'll get it properly. And then what you can do, you can create a box so that it looks better. So whenever you create a new element, you need to double click and then B1. So you can see a text coming here. If you remember the concept of selection screen, wherein we were creating blocks, this is the same thing. And in the block we used to put a text here. So this is your first screen. This is going to be your first screen. I'm not going to give any. I'm not going to make it mandatory for now because it creates problems. So let it be like this. The other thing, if you remember this, if you remove this input field, it becomes disabled for entry. So you should be aware of this. So for now, it's input enabled. So my first screen is ready. So go back, activate, and then one more thing we are going to do here. We are going to create a button. So this is your button. Create a button like this. So this is going to be the text of that button. And you can also attach an icon. If you click here, you can select one icon which you think would be most suitable. So this looks like this. Select it and then increase this. So we attached an icon here, and then so I think you guys are with me. I didn't do anything special. I'm not going to do anything special actually. It's very simple. Execute this. You'll see this. First screen, sales document, next screen. So this one looks little professional, and then obviously based on your creativity you can make it more professional. So go back and then create one more screen. 9002, short description, table control screen. It's going to be a normal screen, underscore code. It is going to be unique every time. Flow logic is fine for now. Or what we can do, we can give the same GUI status and GUI title. I think at least GUI status we can use. Title we need to change. So since this is a part of PBO, so it will go into O01. Yes. So copy this, put it here, make it gtitle1, and let's create another title. So obviously in these titles you can put some meaningful text based on your business requirement. So this is the first title, our first dialog program. Now this is our next screen. Change this layout, and then what we are going to do, this is our table control. This is wizard, so we are not going ahead with wizard. Wizard is like pre-specified steps. I'm going to select this table control. So this is how you drag and drop, and then what you need to do, T1, give it a name, and then click here, www_vpcp, get from program, select everything, hit OK, and then drag and drop it on the top. Looks like there is some problem. No, it's fine. Okay. So what we did, we dragged and dropped it here. The other thing what we are going to do, double click here, click on separators, vertical and horizontal. So this looks, this makes sense now. And then we need to create a text. So click here, automatically it will take the shape. And of course, if it crosses the limit, then it will create a horizontal scroller. Now we need to give a name here. So since we picked it from our work area, this is not required anymore. Close this. This is the screen property. This is my screen. I'm going to the dictionary again. So sales document. I can see only Posner. That is okay. So let's start with Posner. So text name is T1. Okay, T1 is already taken. T2 item. Next is T3 material number. Next is material entered. T4. Material entered. T5. I don't know how many fields would be having values, but then T6 and then batch. Next would be material group. T7. T8. Short text. T9. Item category. T10 is item type. So we just provided the header size of now. Nothing special, as I keep on saying. If you guys are following every step, there is nothing special in this. Activate this. Okay, for now just activate it because the loop is not there. So no system is bothered about the loop. So other thing which we have to do is okay, looks like the screen is not sufficient for Yeah, we have this option. Select this option, select column, and then give mark, name as mark. So you'll see this has come here as highlighted. Now go back, activate this. So for now we'll just activate with syntax error. So we have issues in this one. So couple of things we need to copy from this one. This dictionary is not required. Let's come out of it. So controls is important. And then here, because we are going to select the rows, so we added a field called mark. So it's standard mark type CE underscore mark. Add one more field here, and then put the controls. Controls TC underscore VBAP type table view using screen 9000. Okay. Okay. So this is done. Now this screen seems to be active. This screen is also active with syntax error, but if we come here with the screen 100, we can see that there is a loop like this. So we have to put this loop here, loop at IT underscore VBAP with control TC underscore VBAP TC underscore hyphen current line. So what we are going to do, we have defined a table control which is TC underscore VBAP, and then we are putting the cursor on the current line. This is the standard syntax, just you need to copy and paste it from the sample program. Other thing which you need to remember is that loop at IT VBAP, no work area here, but then here when we are putting a loop, there would be work area as well. So why is that? Because in PBO, so just understand it, in PBO, when we are proposing the table control in front of us by that screen, we are just displaying all the contents of that internal table. But then process after input means when we are going to do any operation on that, so we are going to do it on every row, which means each row would represent the work area. That's why when we do when we do a loop here, we have to do it with internal table into work area. Create this module, it's a part of PAI, so it will go into I01. Activate, go back. Let's also enable the user command. It's going to help us, part of PAI, so it will go into I01. Okay, now what is the syntax error here? Let's check it out. Okay, so whatever I told was other way around actually. So in the second loop, that is PAI, we put a loop at internal table. So this is a standard syntax, just remember it here. We have to put a loop on the internal table, and in the modify, we need to modify it using work area. Here, uh, when we put a loop at internal table, we have to use work area. Also, we may or may not use, but then using work area is always advised. And then give the extension of control. Now let's go to the 9002 screen once again. So this is our table control, and we need few buttons here. Let's create a button. So the first button would be to add a new record. B1, select an icon, this icon, choose this icon. So this one B2, choose another icon. Delete row. And then let's see what else we have in. So add, remove, sort. Yeah, so we have sort. So let's do the sort also. Okay, so by the way, if you guys remember what I did, I just changed the name of this table control. Whatever we defined in the top, which means TC underscore VBAP. So I just changed it here. Otherwise, earlier it was T1. So I should have defined as T1 in the top include. So we'll create one more button. Select this, sort. So we have three buttons primarily to work on. Go back, activate this. So now we are in 9001. So if I go to user command, and then because in this screen the name of this button is P1. So if I go to user command, when P1 call screen 9002. So if I go to my T code, so just remember that call screen statement, that is how you navigate between the screens. If I click on this, so let me debug this quickly. What happened? There is no SIUCOM defined for this, that's the reason. Okay, my mistake. So go to 9001 again, layout, it's in display mode, we'll change it. And then OK code. Sorry, not this one. This button. So OK code, that is the function code. It's next. Go back, activate this in PAI. Next. So I'm doing this after so many years, so my apologies. But yeah, so but yeah, we are going to achieve it, no problem. So when I click on next screen, I can see this table control here. I can see the buttons. So as of now these buttons are also supposed to be defined. set, forgot the name, GM test. Okay. When next, if VBAK hyphen VB here, and this is what we pulled there, equal to space, or if its initial message E001 with some message, please enter the value, type else. So by doing this, we are stopping the navigation. Okay, so we'll go to top. So whenever you see this error, we need to also define the tables. So one thing, this won't let me go to the next screen. Okay, and if there is any value in the sales order, then it will help me to go to next screen, which means now we should have some value in the internal table. So we have two screens here. We have this screen. So it's like when we call this transaction, it goes to the PBO of this screen, loads this GUI status and title, and then displays the screen. When we click on the next button by after inputting the sales order, then it comes to PAI of the screen. It comes to PAI, identifies the SIUCOM or the user command, and if it's next, that is the button, or back exit, then it does process accordingly. We also need this to be copied in the next screen so that the navigation works there. So case OK underscore code. So when back, or so when back, simple. When back means set screen 0, leave screen 0. When exit or cancel, leave program. So when we are doing set screen 0 means it will remove the current screen from its memory, and then it will reset, basically it will reset the screen from the memory and it will leave to the screen 0. Screen 0 means our first screen. Now activate this, choose the sales order. Next screen, we came here. When I click on back, it comes here. Sorry, so by doing set screen 0 means it, so the second screen was loaded in the memory, so it removed that, it did a reset in the memory, came back to first screen. So why that is important? Because if it's still having the content of the second screen in the memory, there might be some kind of clashes, so we need a data refresh at time to time. That's why set screen 0, leave to screen 0 is recommended. And now if I go here again, if I give 106 next, and then if I do this or this, it will come out, leave program. Okay, so till now our navigation is fine, nothing special till now. Only thing you need to take care of the looping. First loop with internal table into work area, which will also have the table control and cursor on the current line. Second is just loop at internal table. In this we have modified. Now for each button we need a SIUCOM, which we did not define. Function code is insr insert dele delete sort. So we are good with this. Activate. Okay, so as I was explaining, when you load the transaction, it goes to the PBO of the first screen in the sequence, that is 9001. It loads this GUI status and title and displays the screen in front of you, which means the layout in front of you. Next, when you enter a sales order and click on the next button, next screen button, it goes to the PAI of the same screen, that is 9001, and acts accordingly based on the coding here. We can also, else what we can do, select single VBELN from VBAK into LV underscore VBELN, V underscore VBELN, where VBELN equal to VBAK hyphen VBELN. If not, server seek initial and V underscore VBELN is initial message E. Sales dot not valid, like this. Okay, so it makes sense. Else, one more in. So I hope you guys are with me and you are getting what I'm trying to do. I'm just validating the sales document, whether it's a correct one or not. So obviously it's not there, we are going to define it. Okay, so if we come here, if we click on the screen, we get this message and then hit enter and then give some value. Let's say I give ABCD. So system does an automatic validation here. If I click on next screen, so system is doing its own validation because it's coming from the database. So in fact our code is not required, but still let it be there. So PAI, and then since we have mentioned that it's going to call the screen 9002, so which means it will go to 9002 and go to the PBO of that screen. So it will go to the PBO of that screen. So in the PBO of the screen, we need to fetch the data in that internal table. PAI PBO, so it will go into O01. Select select all these things. So now what happens when it goes to the PBO of 9002, then it fetches the data first and then it displays the data in front of you. So let's go to the T code and then select a sales order. Okay, because sales document not valid because the problem is so let's put a breakpoint here, then you will understand the problem. Oh, my mistake again, sorry. How come it's not there? Okay, so this one is working 5277, that might be archived. So if I continue, okay, something is messed up. I'll pause it till the time it comes back. Okay, so looks like there is some problem in my system as usual. So what I'll do, I'll stop this video here and then I hope you guys are able to get some concept. I'm trying to stop this but then I don't know what happened. So in the next video, I'll again continue with this, with the place where we left. So we are going to display the contents in the table control and then we are going to do an insert, delete and sort. And after that, we'll see what else we can learn in table control. So for now, just I'm going to stop this video here itself and then we'll catch up again with the next part.